What's going on, YouTube? How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing great as usual. Again, guys, thank you so much for all the awesome comments you guys are leaving in my videos. I love it, man. There's just no other way around it. I truly do. I also want to apologize though because I know I haven't been able to really reply as much as I usually do in the comments. It's just work has been super stressful the last couple months, and believe me, I would love nothing more than to be able to do this for a living if I could. It'd be like a dream come true, and I would be able to spend more quality time with my son. You guys, we don't get our time back, and that is the most important thing in the world. So, if you guys can spend your quality time, please, with your families, take advantage because unfortunately, not all of us get to do that. And I admire that. And I would strive and do anything for that. So, guys. But anyway, so check this out, guys. I got all three TVs lined up right here. And it's just amazing. I have the LG G4 to the left. I have the Samsung S90D in the middle, and I have the Sony A95L to the right. All three of them in a 77-inch. And man, guys, I gotta tell you, this is something special for me because, it is truly a pleasure being able to just see these TVs in your own home, side by side. And don't get me wrong, I mean, it definitely takes time to set this all up. It's not easy. The TVs are heavy. I move them around. They all get set up in different areas in the room. And, it takes time. It takes a few hours to get this all set up the way you want it and rewire everything and things like that and move things around. But I did it because I did it for the love of you guys, and it means a lot to me to be able to just like share my experience with these TVs and just things that I personally notice. And really, we're only going to be specifically talking right now about gaming. I will definitely make another video regarding movies, things like that. But I just want to talk about gaming right now because, as you guys know, gaming is something that I typically and normally do as my primary use case for any TV that I use. I don't care whether it's the A95L, the S90D, the G4. I game on all three TVs. I game on another smaller, the LG Flex. I also have that. I think it's a 42 or 43 inch. I can't remember. But the LG Flex monitor, they call it a monitor, even though to me it's more like a TV. I game on that. I game heavy. I go hard in gaming. And if anybody is playing any of the Call of Duties, Black Ops 6, let me know in the comments and share with me your screen name. I will be more than happy to friend you and play with you and see what we can do, man. Let's get on the field. So, anyways, guys, let's just talk specifically about gaming really quick. As you can see, the all three TVs are lined up right next to each other. And I just want to really briefly explain something, all right, guys? If you are a casual gamer and you are not necessarily playing to play competitively or playing to, you know, first person shooters, anything like that, and input lag is not really a, let's say, priority for you, you're good to go in the premium space with the A95L. All right. And the reason why I say that is because it still has amazing colors. It still looks really good in gaming. And you're really not going to notice any input lag when you're casually gaming in RPGs like this game right here, Ratchet and Clank, God of War, whatever game you guys like to play. I'm just naming the games that I personally like to play. All right. So it is a good gaming TV. It is good enough to get by. And you also have all the other features of other use cases that that the A95L can do. So you will love this TV regardless if you're willing to spend that Sony tax, that Sony premium, and you're looking for pretty much the best of the best. It is a QD OLED by Sony with Sony's processing, it's as smooth gets, motion wise. Colors are terrific because it's a QD OLED, and it has pretty much, all the primary features, including Dolby Vision, that you would really want as far as a premium TV goes. And the sound quality from the TV without a soundbar is great. Yes, I do recommend getting a soundbar if you can. But again, I don't mean to change the subject too much. But again, if you're a casual gamer, that TV is fine. Now, if you're more of a first person shooter, or let's say a competitive gamer, first person shooters, fighting games, and things like that, I don't know if I would truly recommend the A95L, because when I'm playing an RPG, I don't really feel any input lag. When I'm playing a first person shooter, believe me when I tell you guys, it could be 2 milliseconds difference. I'm feeling that difference. I don't care what anyone says. I'm feeling that difference in gaming. I promise you guys, I wouldn't lie to you for anything. I definitely notice the difference in the input lag when I'm running a first person shooter game. It's just that simple. But again, gaming casually, RPGs, the reason why the A95L in gaming is so nice is because it's able to get to that QD OLED color, and you can fine tune your picture, not through the gaming menu so much, because their gaming menu honestly is very lackluster in my personal opinion. It's just kind of almost like pointless. But the cool part with Sony, or at least the A95L, and I'm pretty sure some of their other TVs, the cool part is even when you're in game mode, what I like about it is you're still able to get to your picture settings menu and still really be able to dig in and get access to pretty much all of your settings, regardless even if you're in game. Nothing really gets blocked or locked out pretty much in your picture settings, for the most part. You're able to control your black levels, you're able to control your color spaces, you're able to control your tone mapping, every way you possibly can. All the primary things that you want to control when you're controlling your settings, you can. So that's the cool part with the A95L. They don't really lock you out of too many of the settings just because you're in game mode, which I really appreciate. So the game, or the processor of the processing of the A95L is great. Again, like I was saying, the motion is smooth. It's crazy how like cinematic a game can look with the A95L in your cutscenes, because Sony is just known for having that kind of processing where everything looks cinematic, and I definitely noticed the difference there, and it can retain a lot of details. All right, now some of the downfalls that I noticed with the A95L, whether I'm gaming, whether I'm watching 4K HDR, is sometimes it compared to the newer 2024 models, not the 2023 models, but the 2024 models. I notice even in that 1 year, one model year difference, it's like the details don't look as sharp as, let's say, the S90D or the G4. All right. Especially in games like this, Ratchet and Clank, where there's a lot of colors. The Sony A95L looks phenomenal because it is like a happy medium. Like, it can pretty much check all the boxes. And even if it doesn't check all the boxes the best, it can still check all the boxes. So like, even though, for example, it may not have as much fine detail natively as the G4, it still has a lot of fine detail. Even though it can't get to as colorfully vibrant as the S90D, being a QD OLED, it's still, you can tweak it to get a lot of color out of it. For example, the S90D right now, which I'll show you, it's in the middle, so you guys, I'll just pull the menu up right here. The S90D, for example, has color booster, and the color booster you can turn the color booster off and put live color onto, like, let's say medium, and you're probably going to get just as, it's probably going to look equal to you. It just looks equal to me a lot of times. So that's one thing I definitely did notice, is just obviously the color science out of Samsung, which they're, which they're obviously known for it being having the most colorful TVs, is always going to be a win no matter what. Their QLEDs were like that. Their their mini LEDs are like that now. It's just Sony. I'm sorry, Samsung has always just been known for that, right? Now, one can argue and say that, yeah, that's because Sony is really gravitates or sets their TVs up to look more natural and more realistic and things like that. But when you're gaming on a game like this, Ratchet and Clank, I don't know if you're going to necessarily care that much about color accuracy. I know I don't. I never really spoke to anyone who's saying I want a more accurate picture when they're gaming, unless they're gaming and on a certain game or something. Yes, I can understand that. But a game like this that has a lot of vibrancy, you're gonna enjoy it more with when it has more color. So I'm just personally trying to make the images look somewhat similar as best as I can with these three TVs now. But believe me, if I put color booster even on low, it'll just completely outshine color wise both the A95L and the G4. And just to let you know, live color is on medium right now with the A95L. All right, guys. So just want to get that out the way. All right. Now, when it comes to first person shooter games, in gaming, and you're kind of in the middle and you're stuck between, let's say, the G4 or the S90D. Maybe you X'd out the S95D because you really cannot stand that matte finish, and though these two would probably be your only two choices, and your primary use case is gaming. It's going to be a toss-up, guys. It really is. But I will say that I think this time around, when it specifically comes to gaming, I tend to really lean more towards the S90D over the G4. That doesn't mean that I like the S90D more than the G4, but it means that I like the S90D over the G4 when it comes to gaming, all right? And because primarily it can still have much detail, games like this, I just, there's no other way to explain it, guys. It is it is like a dream come true. Like, it is just a beautiful, the most clear picture image that I've probably ever seen in my life. I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush when it comes to that, guys. It is just so tack sharp. And it looks so good. I don't want to walk through here because it's going to make me do the mission, but like, I don't know which other way to really explain it besides the fact that it just, you don't want to ever leave your TV. It's amazing. Now, it cannot get as bright as a G4, as you can clearly see. But the problem is that the G-force tone mapping, for some reason, just kind of can somehow just blows out detail a lot of times in specular highlights. I have a problem with that. I like my details being able to maintain or be maintained in highlights. But I believe it's probably because the S90D cannot get as bright as a G4, so that limitation in brightness is helping support or maintain details a little bit better within specular highlights, or as you can kind of clearly see right here. You can see how that lantern is so bright that on the G4 that it kind of blows out. And again, don't get me wrong, on camera it looks worse than it really is, but you're not able to see as much detail and as much specular highlights in the G4 as it gets kind of blown out, or details within the specular highlights, I should say. I'm sorry. Than then versus the S90D and the A95L, as you can clearly see. What I'm looking at right now, when I look against the rocks in the background, is not only is the S90D's color the best looking in my opinion, but it's able to maintain more details compared to the A95L and the G4 with just nicer colors sign. It just looks better. It looks sharper. And again, as I was saying this before in another video, the S90D, when it comes to like colorful games, colorful movies, that 3D effect that it gives off, that because of the sharpness and the color vibrancy, is definitely a different level that I've never seen before. The LG G4 also looks extremely 3D. I would still give the edge in that category to the G4, but it's like pretty much neck and neck, just to let you guys know. Sometimes because the G4 can get brighter, it and make the picture pop out a little bit more. Because of that reason, and because of being able to pull more details out in backgrounds and things like that, which I've never seen any TV do anything better than that than the G4. That can also make the image look a lot more realistic. Like for example, if you look all the way to the right in this section here that I'm jumping on, right? And let me go back here, and let's just go in this route. There is so much more fine detail being pulled out on the G4 that you're just not getting out of the S90D or even the A95L. And that's because it can get brighter and it can just be able to display or show more detail because of that reason. And just to let you guys know, I don't care where you have your sharpness or on in any of the TV, the G4 will be able to do that more natively than any other TV out there, whether you're gaming, whether you're watching 4K HDR, whatever the case is, that will always be the case with compared with these three TVs. I don't know how the S95D compares. I'm going to guess that because it's brighter, you're going to be able to see more detail too. As far as like the fine details and how good it looks and how sharp it looks, I don't know. I do know that it shares the same exact processor as the S90D, so I don't know like what those limitations are in a brighter TV with the same processor, but or what the capabilities are, I should say. But at the same time, that's kind of where it looks for me with these three TVs. Now, I made a video, I think like 6-8 months ago. All I did, like I remember I was just playing God of War Ragnarok. I think I was playing Valhalla, and I just stopped and I looked and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this TV looks this amazing. And I made a video about it, just talking about how much I love the A95L, right? And the crazy part is that that was while I was just playing, in my bedroom, in complete dark, which I usually play either, in any room. I just like to play in the dark because I feel like it's a better experience. So, all I gotta say, guys, is that I just feel like things have changed. Like, yes, it's still my overall favorite TV because of what it's how good it looks. Especially outside of game mode. But man, I can't tell you. The S90D looks better than the G4 in gaming, and the S90D also looks better in game mode than the A95L. It just does. And I gotta say, that's probably for gaming specifically, the S90D probably just pulls ahead in so many different ways. It just looks sharp. The color is just so pure. The vibrancy out of it is so pure. I'm going to show you guys a close-up of what I mean and kind of end it with that. But just to let you guys know, don't get me wrong, the G4 and the S90D have amazing game modes. Their menu systems for their gaming menus are both phenomenal. You can't go wrong, in my personal opinion. The input lag is great in both of them. They You can tell they both truly concentrated on gamers and how capable the games, how input lag wise and things like that are for both of them, and how competitive they are against each other when it comes to gaming. And you can tell they truly designed a TV for gamers, and that's hard to do. But at the end of the day, it's what you personally want. Is personally what you want. Do you want QD OLED? Do you want WOLED? What is important to you. There's many other factors that you have to consider too, not just for gaming. But again, if your primary use case is gaming and you're going to ask me which one is my favorite TV specifically for gaming right now, hands down, the S90D, because not only is the gaming menu, even though it may not be better than the G4, the gaming menu is great. And you get phenomenal colors, phenomenal sharpness. You get tack sharp 3D effect. It's just super vibrant. And this is on the S90D, guys. And let's just face it. Let's just get real here. The S90D can be better than the S95D if it wasn't for software limitations. It's the same processor as the S95D. It just doesn't have the same capabilities, primarily because of its software. And we all know that if they really wanted to open up that S90D, maybe through the service menu, make it brighter, you would know that you can probably make it brighter. But yeah, I don't recommend that because you could void your warranty doing things like that. So anyways, I'm going to do a close-up really quick of what I wanted to show you guys. So I'm going to do a close-up of the mask of right here. And then I'm going to walk up and show you guys something that I think is really important to you to know of why the S90D is just so nice. All right, so let's take the camera and we're going to get right up close, because it's hard to see from a distance, but let's get close here. All right, guys, so if you notice the kind of like honeycomb mask that he's wearing, you have the black dots and the neon lights, right? As you can see right there. Right? Now we're going to go to the S90D, and I just want to show you how sharp it looks. Let me see if I can maybe bring the exposure down. There we go. And you can tell how deep it looks right there, right? Like, you see how it separates and it looks more clear? Let's go back to the A95L. You see how it kind of looks a little bit more washed out or soft? And then look how much sharper it looks and more 3D it looks. And then we're going to go to the G4. The G4 is probably the closest to how sharp, the sharpness and the separation of the lights and the black areas of the mask to compare to the S90D. And it looks very 3D as well. Look at that. Look how perfectly clear that looks. You can't get that out of either the G4 or the A95L. You just can't, no matter what you do. That is what makes the S90D so impressive, guys. And at that price point, it's like, how can you possibly miss out? Like, you would want to buy another one. It's just that beautiful of a TV. So that's really one of the main things I wanted to point out right there. Is just when it comes to like colorful images on a TV, the gradation, the color gradation, the gradients is just better on the S90D. The color separation is better on the S90D. doesn't bleed at all, like the G4 can, or the A95L may not bleed over, but just looks softer. And that's really my point right there, and that I wanted to bring up overall. And that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I just want to certainly thank you all. I will make other videos. Please leave in the comments what you would like to see with these three TVs being compared, man. Because, or if you have any questions or anything like that, I would be more than happy to answer those for you. But anyways, guys, I truly appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll be more than happy to, respond. Again, sometimes it is hard to respond. Work has been super stressful, and I'm really trying to spend a lot more time, doing more videos and stuff. But in the comments, it's just hard to get back lately. But I promise I will. So thank you guys so much. I will see you on the next one. Peace.